Up from Slavery, an autobiography by Booker T. Washington, stands as a cornerstone of slave narratives and American history. First appearing in 1900 as a serialized account, it was later published as a full volume, and it remains a standard text in both secondary and higher education. The book records Washington's daunting rise in social status, starting from such dire circumstances that his eventual establishment of the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama can seem almost unbelievable. Washington ultimately became a central figure in American racial discourse, someone attempting to mediate between those trying to understand the realities of freedom after slavery and those still refusing to acknowledge them. Spanning 17 chapters, the narrative follows roughly 4 decades of his life. It begins with Washington's early years as an enslaved child on a plantation. Although he notes that he was not subjected to outright cruelty, he stresses again and again that poverty and the system of slavery itself, even when it lacks overt violence, remain deeply dehumanizing. The enslaved were denied ambition, their dignity and potential deliberately stifled. A major portion of his youth centers on a fierce pursuit of literacy. Washington's story repeatedly underscores the idea that knowledge uplifts people, and that those who dictate what others may learn maintain easier control. A person unable to read or think critically has fewer tools with which to question the world. To Washington, it was nearly impossible to advance when one was permitted to ask only a narrow range of questions. Yet, despite the restrictions of his childhood, he harbors no deep resentment toward his former owners. When the Civil War finally ends and freedom becomes a reality, he sets his sights on the Hampton Institute, determined to gain an education despite possessing only 50 cents to his name, roughly $7 in 2016 currency. The next portion of the book follows his time at Hampton, showing not only his academic success but also the relentless physical labor required to remain enrolled. His dedication impressed his teachers so thoroughly that he was later entrusted with administrative duties. This experience became the groundwork for his life's major undertaking, the creation of a school for black students in Tuskegee, Alabama. To call its beginning modest is an understatement. Washington recounts the struggle to erect buildings, his reflections on religion during Christmas, and the constant challenge of raising funds for growth. The Tuskegee Institute eventually prospered, giving Washington a platform for public speaking and national travel. In the latter chapters, he even provides insight and advice for those who address audiences. The narrative concludes with Washington and his third wife, his first two having passed away earlier, making a long-anticipated journey to Europe, a tour that includes a notable meeting with Queen Victoria. Washington himself was a man of many layers. As an educated black leader determined to extend the same opportunity to others, he continually confronted entrenched racism that tried to undermine his efforts. The contradiction was painful. He recognized education as the necessary path forward for his people, yet he lacked infinite time and resources to realize his full dream. While prejudice still exists, Washington's role in advancing progress was enormous, and he closes Up from Slavery with a sense of cautious optimism for the future of African Americans. From a childhood without the ability to read to his emergence as a respected scholar, he championed learning as the antidote to ignorance. He urged people to ask themselves difficult questions and to follow the truth wherever it led, even if that meant altering their own beliefs. By living this principle, he embodied curiosity, the pursuit of knowledge as its own reward, and the dismantling of fear and falsehood that sustain racism in any era. Up from Slavery is widely regarded as vital reading not only for Black Americans interested in the roots of their struggle and progress, but for anyone willing to confront the inheritance of slavery in the United States. It is a work that forces readers to face uneasy truths while proposing a clear and unwavering response. For Washington, the answer always came down to this: education is power and knowledge transforms lives. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.